Welcome back to this preview with the Miami Dolphins going up against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans is one of the only teams that we have to face that is over 500 record, and the Dolphins, the Dolphins just cannot seem to figure out how to work around it. Okay, the Texans are 8-5 to start the season. The Houston Texans to start to what are they going to do? How do they start off? The Houston started off beating the Colts 29-27 in Indianapolis. Then they come back home to play against the Bears. They beat them there. Then they go to Minnesota and then getting squashed by the Vikings. I mean, no shame in losing to the Vikings. They're a good team. But then you have to win against the Jaguars. So they're 3-1. And then got a big win against the Buffalo Bills. A really big win. That was with Stephon Diggs. Getting that revenge game. So 4-1 starts season, 5-1 against the Patriots, losing to Green Bay on the field goal. That's tough. Beating the Colts again, but then go to MetLife and they lose to the Jets team that we beat, and then come back home. They played the Lions. No shame in losing to the Lions, and then they go to Dallas. Remember, this is Houston we're talking about. They go to Dallas, Arlington. And then they beat them. They beat the crap out of them up in Arlington. So then after that, they come back and they lose. They somehow lose to the Titans 32-27. And then they beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville 23-20. So but a lot of those wins and losses, there were like close games. But a couple of them were blowouts in there. And then which leads to an 8-5 record against the Miami Dolphins in this game. Houston, of course, is the favorite to win this game. C.J. Stroud having himself a year. 3,117 yards of the season with 15 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions. Joe Mixon, Mixon has always been good. I mean, he was good with Cincinnati, I believe, if I remember correctly. He's good. There's no exception here. He is doing absolutely phenomenal. 205 carries. 887 yards, so he's close to 1,000 yards of the season with 11 rushing touchdowns. And then Collins with 49 receptions, 832 receiving yards with 4 touchdown passes. This is a really good offensive team with the Houston Texans, and they are just as good at home than they are on the road. For the Dolphins, of course, you got Tua, Chan, and Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, that are in the mix. Unfortunately, no more Odell Beckham Jr. We heard the news this morning that he has been waived, and it's a mutual decision. They both feel like Odell is unhappy with his situation in Miami, so he's like, I don't want to be here no more. He's not getting the ball. I mean, kept dropping the ball. That's why nobody throws to you. But in terms of everyone else, the injuries, I mean, it looks like Armstead's not going to play. And that's pretty much it for Houston. Juice Scruggs out. Harris is out for a while. Nick Broeker, the guard, questionable, and then Jamal Hill, the linebacker, is also questionable. Did you know? Okay, so they are 8-3 against the Dolphins Texans. All right. Since then, the Miami Dolphins have a 2-game winning streak for the first time ever against the Houston Texans. Okay, 2-game winning streak against the Houston Texans, both of which are at home. The last time the Dolphins have been in Houston was in 2018. That was with Brock Osweiler as our quarterback. Okay, that's the team that had Kendrick Drake. I think Kenny Stills was on that team. Albert Wilson, if you remember that play against the Raiders. But also Ryan Tannehill, Brock Osweiler was also part of that team. And that was a Thursday night game between them and the Texans. It was a pretty good game, except for the fact that our defense was just getting clobbered by the Houston's offense, okay? I think Deshaun Watson was still a part of that team. I forgot. It's been so long. Moral of the point here. All the wins against Houston were at home. Meaning, the Dolphins going into the stadiums, they have never, ever, ever, ever won a game in Houston, okay? Houston has only been around the league for, I want to say 22 years. Okay, they were an expansion team in 2002, as far as I know, and the Dolphins and Texans, they were not close. They are not close when in terms of standings. Okay, it's 8-3, Houston. There were some close matchups from 2003 all the way up towards 2015. Our first win against Houston was in 2015. Okay, so if this is the time to win in Houston, it's freaking Sunday. All right, they have to do it somehow, some way. Otherwise, you have the kids' playoffs. Goodbye. We have nothing to play for no more. But yeah, there you go. That's the preview for this week. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for our content because Miami TVG has it back. And when he does, he'll be right there with the fear entertainment you deserve. Yeah, it's been quite the day. It's been quite the day. Okay. And then tomorrow, I believe it's just one game. From what I do recaps, yeah, it's just one game tomorrow. With the Florida Panthers with the wet late nights. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it. And I'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.